Hey there, space cadets and future Martians. Ever dreamed of swapping your cramped apartment for a swanky pad with a view of the Milky Way? Well, buckle up because we're about to take a tour of the ultimate real estate frontier, space habitats. Now I know what you're thinking. Space habitats. Aren't those just tin cans floating in the void? Oh, my sweet summer child, how wrong you are. We're not talking about your grandpa's space station here. We're talking about the Gucci of galactic living, the Versace of vacuum residences. These are the cribs that'll make Earth look like a studio apartment in comparison. But before we blast off into the details, let's get one thing straight. Living in space is no walk in the park. It's more like a moonwalk in a minefield. You've got radiation, microgravity, cosmic rays, and let's not forget the ultimate party pooper, the vacuum of space. It's like Mother Nature looked at space and said, "You know what this place needs? More ways to kill humans." But fear not, because our brilliant space architects are here to save the day, armed with their slide rules and an unhealthy obsession with sci-fi movies. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the elephant in the airlock. Building in space is about as easy as solving a Rubik's Cube while wearing oven mitts, in zero gravity, blindfolded. Every brick, every nail, every roll of space toilet paper needs to be launched from Earth at the cost of approximately 1 kidney per kilogram. And don't even get me started on the IKEA instructions for space furniture assembly. But wait, there's more. Remember gravity, that pesky force that keeps your coffee in your cup and your toupee on your head? Well, in space, it's more absent than my motivation to go to the gym. This means our space architects need to rethink everything from plumbing to exercise equipment. Imagine trying to take a shower when the water droplets float around like tiny, wet ghosts. Or doing squats when there's nothing to squat against. It's enough to make Newton roll in his grave. If he could roll in 0 G, that is. And let's not forget about protection. No, not that kind of protection, although that's probably important too in space. I'm talking about shielding our delicate human bodies from the cosmic radiation that's more intense than a Taylor Swift breakup song. Without Earth's magnetic field, we're basically walking targets for every high-energy particle the universe decides to throw our way. It's like trying to play dodgeball with the sun, and spoiler alert, the sun always wins. But enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about the cool stuff. Imagine waking up to a sunrise every 90 minutes as you orbit the Earth. Your bedroom window is a panoramic view of our blue marble, making your neighbor's ocean view apartment look like a kiddie pool in comparison. And the best part? No noisy upstairs neighbors. Unless, of course, you count the occasional meteor shower. Now let's take a tour of your new cosmic condo. First stop, the kitchen. Forget about your boring old Earth stove. In space, we cook with the power of the sun. That's right, solar ovens are the new hot thing. Pun absolutely intended. And who needs a fridge when the vacuum of space is nature's freezer? Just toss your leftovers outside for a bit. But be careful, leave them too long and you'll have astronaut jerky. Next up, the bathroom. Now I know what you're thinking, and yes, it's true. In space, no one can hear you. Flush. But our engineers have come up with some pretty nifty solutions. Let's just say that going to the bathroom in space is less about gravity and more about suction. It's like a really intense game of operation, but with higher stakes and more awkward moments. Moving on to the living room, or as we call it in space, the floating room. Here's where you can really appreciate the joys of zero gravity. Why sit on a couch when you can float in midair? It's like having an invisible lazy boy that never runs out of battery. And forget about dropping the TV remote in the couch cushions. In space, it's always within arm's reach. Somewhere, floating. Okay, maybe we need to rethink this one. Now I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but when can I move in? Well, hold your horses, space cowboy. We're not quite there yet, but we're closer than you might think. NASA and private companies are already working on inflatable habitats that can be launched in a compact form and then expanded in space. It's like a bounce house, but instead of keeping kids in, it's keeping the vacuum out. And let's not forget about our friendly neighborhood Moon and Mars. These celestial bodies are prime real estate for future space colonies. Imagine having a summer home on the Moon where you can play golf with a drive that literally goes for miles. Or a winter cabin on Mars where you can ski down Olympus Mons, the tallest mountain in the solar system. Just remember to pack your own air. But perhaps the most exciting prospect is the development of rotating habitats. These massive wheel-shaped structures would spin to create artificial gravity, solving many of the health issues associated with long-term space living. It's like living in a giant hamster wheel, but with less running and more, well, everything else. As we push further into the cosmos, these space habitats will become more than just survival pods. They'll be stepping stones to the stars, oases in the cosmic desert, and most importantly, they'll be home. A home where the Wi-Fi is spotty, the view is unbeatable, and the commute to work might just involve a spacesuit. So there you have it, folks. The future of living is up, up, and away. It may not be perfect, it may not be easy, but it'll definitely be out of this world. And hey, if nothing else, it'll make for one heck of a change of address card. New home, who dis? Oh, just me, chillin' in my cosmic crib. Now that's what I call living large.